I'm Paul, and I'm back for another edition of Sitsa India. This time, I will be presenting about a research that I've conducted in Western Himalayas. This is about using iNaturalist to leverage species identification moths in the Bilaspur district, Himachal. And this is based on a recently published paper of mine. This is that paper, and these are my co-authors, of which Nivedita played a big role in identification. So moths are used for individual conservation management as well as being indicators of environmental and vegetation changes. Multiple moth inventories have been conducted across the Himalayas. For example, a moth checklist for the whole of Jammu and Kashmir is available. There are several other studies across the Himalayan range. However, there are a very limited number of studies on moths within the Shivalik range and none covering the Bilaspur district. Recently, Singh and Lekendra had published a paper on enumeration of moths within the eastern Shivalik, but it didn't cover the Bilaspur district. So the aim of the current study was to document moth biodiversity of this district. The study area is the Bilaspur district, which is largely located in the lower Himalaya biogeographical zone, with a minor part in the middle Himalaya. Most of the district is part of the Shivalik range of the Himalayas. The elevation varies between 300 to 1800 meters of mean sea level, which means they have a wide variety of habitats. And this is the study area. The yellow and black dots are the moth observations. The white are stratified random hexagons. So the methodology is that two circular plots, each of 25-meter radius within 35 stratified random hexagons of around 500-meter sites, were intensively studied with at least two survey efforts each, barring one, separated by 26 to 120 days. Within each such circular plot, around 1 to 3.5 hours of intensive sampling of invertebrates were carried out using methods of visual encounter surveys and temporarily flushing the ground litter using boots or sticks. All invertebrates cited were noted down and photographed for identification and or documentation. Moths were also photographed opportunistically along the route to the survey plots or at the base camps. So the sampling duration was from 16 March 2020 to 1st November 2021. The identification through morphotaxonomy, that's the identification through morphological characters, were carried out using citizen science websites like Moths of India, iNaturalist, and India Biodiversity Portal, as well as books such as the 4 volumes of Hampson's Fauna of India, as well as Holloway's Moths of Borneo. All images were also uploaded in iNaturalist for identification help. These are all the resources used for identification. So a total of 78 moth species or moth species were recorded during the study. And these are the image plates of all the species. Interestingly, an additional 4 species were found from iNaturalist, which were not recorded during our study. These are Lepidia nobilis, Caesara, Abraxas, and Acadia. And these 82 species in Bilaspur district belong to 9 superfamilies and 12 families. The 45 were identified to species level, 25 to genus level, and 12 to higher taxonomic levels. At least 22 of these are new records for Himachal Pradesh, and at least 5 are new records for Western Himalayas. The paper contains the checklist and ID keys of the species, along with the known larval host plants, and provides a database of global and statewide distribution of moths as supplemental material. Based on the ratio of moths to butterflies in a study conducted in a nearby region that's around 150 kilometers away in the Tons Valley, where they found that there's a ratio of around 5 moths for each butterfly. We estimate around 503 to 537 moth species in Bilaspur district, which means an inventory completeness of 14.1 to 15.1%. Of the 5 species which are new records for Western Himalayas, 2 were identified with the help of experts in iNaturalist: Anoba, Pranthia, Eublema cochleoides, Herminia undulata, and Hypocera hydrocampata, the last 2 being the ones that were identified with the help of experts. Detailed identification keys for a species which are morphologically similar counterparts were developed from information provided by experts in iNaturalist, such as those for Herminia undulata, Hypocera hydrocampata, Celacia semarova, and Thysanoplusia intermixta. The creation of these identification keys motivated me to pick up a project that I had in my mind for some time, which is a project to create identification keys for wildlife in India, whether it be moths or birds or plants. I decided to host the project in iNaturalist, given that they have a nice feature called the guides. There are pros and cons to using iNaturalist for this project. One is that iNaturalist provides a taxonomy list which can be used for navigating. And for individual pages. There's an option of seeing map of the distribution of moths. There are many reasons for this project. One of the primary reasons is that identification keys available in literature are very hard for lay people and even biologists who don't have expertise in the respective taxa to understand due to many taxonomic jargon and lack of clarity on what these terms mean. For example, you have things like orbicular stigmata and the reniform stigmata or the labial palpi. These are terms that a layperson will not be able to understand. And the second reason would be that the number of experts available for helping others identify taxa for their expertise are not many, and they are overburdened by ID requests. This will lessen the workload of experts. And the third would be that this process will allow better validation of species identification, which in turn is used as training data by iNaturalist for their computer vision model. Seeing the uptick in the number of ID spammers who simply agree to an identification just to increase their identification count without any verification of the species, we are likely to enter an era of bad identification suggestions from the automated species identification tool of iNaturalist, which bases itself on the computer vision model, which in turn will be research graded again by the ID spammers, creating a vicious loop of trash in, trash out in the machine learning model. Fourth reason would be that since a lot of research grade data from iNaturalist are being used for modeling species distributions and other trends, such validation will result in better quality data for research. And the final reason would be that ID keys like this hopefully result in lesser number of collections of animals like moth who are usually dissected for identification. I'm thankful to the NMHS for funding the project, high resolution spatial mapping of bird phenology as an indicator of ecosystem health in relation to climate change in Western Himalaya, of which this is a byproduct. I thank the Himachal Pradesh Forest Department. I thank all my field assistants. Most importantly, I thank the people who helped with the identification of iNaturalist, of which Popo Pro and Roger Kendrick deserve special mention since discussion with them helped me develop some identification case. To express interest in joining as an editor, you can write to us at thesecolib@gmail.com or join the WhatsApp community. ID Keys to Wildlife in India is a project of Secolib, that is Science Advocacy Collective for Liberation, under the theme of information liberation. You can check out the page. Thanks for listening.